Hey everybody, Brian Kane back here, and we're on lesson 2 of personal responsibility and daily excellence in climbing your mountain of success 200 feet at a time. Well, what are you talking about, 200 feet? Well, think about this. If you were going to drive from Burlington, Vermont to Newport Beach, California, and you left at midnight, it's a drive you'd probably want to make maybe once in your life. I think when I did it, I took the 80 across the country. Pretty good drive. Wouldn't do it again. Too long. But if you were going to drive from Burlington, Vermont to California, could you do it? Yeah, sure you could. Could you do it if you left at midnight and it was completely dark the entire trip? Yeah, you could. And the reason you could is because you'd have headlights. And even though it's completely dark, you got those headlights let you see about 200 feet of the road. So you drive that 200 feet, and then you drive the next 200 feet, and then you drive the next 200 feet, and then you drive the next 200 feet, the next 200 feet, the next 200 feet, until you get to California. Now, are there going to be traffic jams? Absolutely. Are there going to be potholes? Sure. Might you run out of gas? Might you pop a tire? Sure. There's going to be adversity along the way of that journey from Burlington, Vermont to California. There's going to be adversity along the journey of anything you're trying to do if you're in the pursuit of excellence. But you can't get distracted, you can't get deterred, you can't get knocked off your course. You see, if you were going to fly from Burlington, Vermont to California, in that airplane, you're going to be off course about 98% of the time. But what that plane is constantly doing is making minor adjustments to keep you on track. And that's the same thing you want to do in pursuit of your goal. Is know where you want to go, but focus on that next 200 feet, which is right here, right now, today. Let me show you some video clips of a couple different athletes talking about focusing on the next 200 feet, knowing where they want to go, but realizing that in order to get there, they've got to take care of business here in that next 200 feet. Let's take a look.
I was wondering if you had just basically your plans, any plans for the future, any possibility of a rematch with Silva, or I guess what you got in store for, I guess, the future.
Yeah, this is my first fight after the loss, and I was asked this question earlier tonight, and my plan for the future is just another fight and another win, and for now, I would love to eventually make my way back to the 185-pound title, but I got to focus on the next 200 feet in front of me, and that's I'm sure I got some people in the way before I get there. So we'll see what the UFC brings to me between now and then.
Am I gonna win this competition? That's not the next 200 feet for me, The next 200 feet for me is Shane Prim. I can't think about who I'm gonna fight in the Sammys, what I'm gonna do when I get home. Shane Prim's my 200 feet that I gotta walk.
It's good to see some payoff early in the season, but at the same time we understand it's only one weekend. We're gonna enjoy this now, but we got bigger things on our minds, so we can take it 200 feet at a time.
So you make the commitment to focus on the next 200 feet like the athletes you just saw. Focused on today. Remember, because today plus today plus today equals your career. And what most athletes do wrong, as I learned from my good friend Ed Agresta, is most athletes, most people in general, go through their life counting the days, taking their calendar and marking off the days till their next performance or their next game, instead of making those days count. I want you to don't count the days, but to make the days count. So if you're a member of the 200-foot club, what that means is you understand that any pursuit of excellence, it's about the next 200 feet, what's in front of you right here, right now, about today, today, today. Now, if you look at the bottom right, of our mountain, there's some terms in there that I want you to become familiar with. Now, as we progress through this teaching of the Mountain of Excellence, we're going to dive into more detail of these principles and these terms here, but I want you to start to understand the language. So when someone says, hey, what's your next 200 feet? You know that's what are you doing today to help get better. So the first thing there, it says fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Why is that important? Because think of yourself as an actor. Not an athlete, not a student, not a performer, an actor. And there's going to be days where you show up and you don't feel good, but you've got to act the part. You've got to act how you want to feel. Because 5-6 minutes later, you're going to start to feel the way that you've been acting. You see, most athletes, unfortunately, let their feelings dictate their actions. What champions do is let their actions change their feelings. You see, motion changes emotion. Actions change attitudes. Let's take a look at a video clip here from a baseball game featuring Kevin Costner and Kyle Peterson talking about feeling good when you go pitch or feeling good when you go to act. But what you do is you have a technique, and that technique is called faking it. And you fake it, and sooner or later, you find it. Let's take a look.
Well, you know, in acting, sometimes when you can't actually get the emotion right or anything, you fake it. And the way you fake it is that you have a professional technique. You know, I think if you apply that same thing to a pitcher, I mean, how many times did you actually go out there and pitch and nothing was working for you and you still won? That's why you had a career. You know, the guys that, you know, anybody can go to the Hall of Fame when it's all happening. It's the guys that get there know how to make it work when nothing is going right.
I mean, what is it? I mean, because I mean, if I'm when I was pitching, you go out 10 times, you might feel great 2 times. Is it the same thing for you? If you show up, are there certain days when it just clicks, and other days where it feels like it's work?
Yeah, it happens that way. And you know, one of the things it reminds you of is it's a profession, it's an art form, and you know, it reminds you that it's difficult. And so you have to kind of relax with that and go with the things you have, because if you're going to get frustrated, it's going to carry over to every other thing. And sometimes the universe opens up and 2 or 3 innings in, you find it. Yeah. But you're not going to find it unless you relax. It's just not going to happen.
Our next one is ACE. Remember, acting changes everything. Acting changes everything. You're not a student, you're not an athlete, you are an actor. And you need to act the part of what you're trying to accomplish. So if you've got to fight, don't act nervous, act confident. If you don't feel like you're prepared, don't act unprepared, act prepared. Act the way you need to be to succeed in that environment. We also have APE. What are the things you can control? You know, you can control your attitude, your perspective, how you see things, your preparation, your effort, your emotions. APE, attitude, perspective, preparations, effort, and emotions. You can control those things. Talk about releasing your mental bricks. What does it mean to release your mental bricks? We'll talk about that more when we get into that portion of the mountain. But letting go of your mistakes, not carrying that mental brick. You know, every time you make a mistake, think about grabbing a brick. And if you choose to carry that brick, it's going to weigh you down physically. You're not going to perform to the best of your ability. Well, when you carry a mental brick, it has the same physical toll on you as if you were carrying a real brick. You just can't see it because it's a mental brick. Let me show you a quick video clip from a friend of mine talking about releasing his mental bricks.
What happened is my worst nightmare. I prefer to accept the fact that I lost tonight and come back stronger next time.
I come from a loss. I made many mistakes last time. I forgot who I was, what was my #1 priority. But this time I want to get back to it. After my fight, I was carrying a lot of bricks, and this bricks was Matsara. I was putting on myself a lot of pressure. I was telling myself, oh, I need to prove to the whole world that I'm better than that I need to do this and that. That's bullshit. I fight for myself. I fight because I love to fight. I'm blessed. I have the opportunity to do what I love to do, to realize my dream. And I thank God every single day that I wake up and have the chance to do what I love to do.
Fini. I throw the brick in the river.
Did you bring it? Oh, you?
No, it's in the river.
Drop the brick in the river. It's over.
The main thing is the main thing.
I was carrying this brick for a long time.
Shit.
I dropped it.
When did you drop it?
After when I met my sports psychologist.
Hey, you have one in your car.
Yeah, but this is like a sample.
Okay.
And everyone I write down met Sarah on it and I throw it in the river. I don't carry this anymore.
I see a sports psychologist. His name is Brian Kane. He's also one of my good friends, and he made me see this loss like a positive experience. And it's the best thing ever happened to me. I lost a lot. I learned a lot of stuff from it, and I come back stronger. Release your mental break. But if I release it, I should not bring it.
You should throw it in the garbage. On va le jeter dans la poubelle.
Made me stronger.
As you saw there, release your mental bricks, focus on what you can control in that next 200 feet. Also, don't count those days, but make those days count, and remember that today plus today plus today equals your career, equals your life. Get big. What's that mean? That means carry yourself with big body language, confident body language. As you walk down that hall, as you walk out to that mound, as you're walking into your office. Oh, I don't feel good today. I'm going to carry myself with what I call the loser's limp. Oh, I have the loser's limp. I don't feel good. Fake it. Fake it till you make it. And how you fake it till you make it is faking that body language, big body language, feeling confident, walking tall, good positive self-talk to change around those days where you don't feel good. There's all days where you don't feel good. But what you'll realize is the days where you don't feel good and the days where you feel great, if you go out and act appropriately and prepare the right way, your performance will usually be pretty consistent. It's the performers who allow their feelings to dictate their actions that ride that roller coaster of consistency. And if you're a baseball player, you probably know there are plenty of guys in minor league baseball that have the physical talent to play in the big leagues, but they'll never get there because they're inconsistent. I feel good, I play good. I feel bad, I play bad. I feel good, I play good. I feel bad, I play bad. They're riding this. And what you want to do is, yeah, you want to have your highs high, but you want to keep those lows from going very low, and you want to stay more on that even keel towards that peak level of your performance. And that consistency has as much to do with the 6 inches of gray matter between your ears as it does with anything else. So you understand being a member of the 200 Foot Club. You understand some of the terms in the bottom right that I believe are the foundation of the mental game and the language that it takes to communicate and succeed. If you move over to the left side of your mountain, you'll see the logo on the bottom, the core covenants, as we talked about in lesson number 1. What are your 1 to 3 core covenants or goals, character traits, leadership traits, whatever you want to call them? It's all the same mission statements that you're working on this month. Is it discipline? Is it work ethic? Is it honesty? Is it truth, integrity, and belief? What are your core covenants? Is it being selfless, being a teammate, being disciplined, being tough? Whatever it is, know your core covenants and what they look like in practice, school, games, and community. And communicate those. You see, 3 steps to making anything happen. First, you set that goal, right? Once you have that core covenant and that goal, the 3 steps is you make a commitment to it by writing it down on that bathroom mirror, as we talked about, writing it down. You make it public, you share it with the teammates, the people who are in your inner circle there in your room, going over this mental training material. And then you make it happen. So you make the commitment, you make it public, you make it happen. That's how things get done. So, as you progress up, you see that stop sign there. In order for you to have those core covenants and those goals come true, to accomplish those things today, right? Take a look at your last couple days. Take a look at your last 3 days. What are some behavioral patterns? What are some things that you're doing that you need to stop in order to better achieve those core covenants or those goals that you've set? So write down some things you need to stop, and then where it says go, write down a couple things you need to start doing to get where you want to go. So you set your goal, you set your covenant, your mission statement, whatever it is. What are 3 things you need to stop doing? What are 3 things you need to start or continue doing to help get that goal or that target on the top of this mountain? It's a very simple process. But remember this, simple and easy are not synonymous. Just because something is simple in concept doesn't mean it's going to be easy to do. If it was, everyone would be successful. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. There's a lot of average people walking around. And remember, average people, average teams, what are they? They're the best of the worst and the worst of the best. Don't be average. Set your sights higher. Achieve that pinnacle of success, climbing that peak performance mountain, focused on your personal responsibility towards daily excellence. You stay on that next 200 feet. Our next lesson, we're going to talk about getting in that present moment focus, living in that now, right here, right now, and some things that you can do to train your ability to concentrate and train your ability to stay focused on that next 200 feet, right here, right now. Our first step of the mountain, living in the present moment, that's our next lesson. This is Brian Kane, helping you achieve the pinnacle of success, climbing that mountain 200 feet at a time.